All right, so we'll go ahead and start off with our warm up for yoga. Hi, everybody. This is Mike Lane's torso and his head now. Obviously, trying to get everything in the frame just make things a little bit more interesting. But you guys that have been in the class before have a basic idea. Those of you guys that maybe found this on YouTube, please go to an actual yoga class. You'll probably have a lot more fun and have a lot higher production value than what we currently have here. My wife, who's not too enthused, is going to be probably trying to hide to the side for most of it. You gotta take your shoes off, honey. Feel the floor. Feel the floor with your feet. Squat in there. So, as per the usual, we're going to start off with good posture, and then we're going to go ahead and think deep breath in, opening the chest, reaching behind us, trying to push those hips forward, loosen on up, and then from there, relax that breath on out, and slowly let ourselves fold as comfortably as we can to the floor. Letting the air out completely, and then deep breath in again for a nice long, slow count of 4, and then go ahead and relax that breath back out, cycling back to the ground. We're going to go ahead and do this 4 times. Deep breath in, push those hips forward, 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 reaching back, trying to open those shoulders, and then relaxing as far as we can to the ground, enjoying that forward fold, and then deep breath in last time. Holding that breath in for a moment, reaching behind us, and then going ahead and relax on out one last time to the floor. Good morning, good morning. So now, folks, we're going to go through what is the normal warm-up for my class's variations on what some folks would do for the sun salutation. So we're going to go ahead and start. Make sure you've got some space behind you. So, honey, you probably want to step up and have you over on the carpet. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to just go ahead and let ourselves relax all the way on down to the ground until we can touch our hands to the floor. From there, we're going to lunge back and allow that rear knee to touch the ground. We're trying to think opening up some space in that hip, trying to let that knee drape to the side, creating a little bit of torque at the hip. From there, we're going to go ahead and let that leg go behind us, and we're going to relax ourselves down into the cobra pose. From here, we're going to lower ourselves down and then pressing ourselves back nice and strong into that downward dog, trying to let those heels touch the ground. This is why your socks should be off. As you slowly begin to skate around the floor. Sorry, you guys are missing the party. And then we're going to go ahead and get into that deep lunge on the other side, trying to let that hip go out to the side, trying to feel that torque in the hip and letting it stretch ourselves out. And then when we're ready, we're going to go ahead and bring that other leg up, meeting ourselves to the bottom of that squat, trying to get our heels onto the ground if at all possible, sitting back into it. It's okay, I'm a tight tiger also, trying to find that space in the hip wherever we can, breathing on into it, letting it go ahead and stretch us on out. And then we're ready. Let's go ahead and think, stand it on up. Oof. Fall forward. My legs are Tyrannosaurus Rex from yesterday, so I'm letting them recover slowly but surely. But we're going to go ahead, deep breath in, deep breath out, recenter, and now we're going to go the opposite way that we just went through. So once again, we're going to go ahead and bend on down to the ground, reaching our hands down, and now we're going to lunge back with that left leg first, reaching on into that hip. There you go. Let that rear knee touch the ground. You're comfortable. You can scoot up over here so you can have the carpet relax on also. Then let's go ahead, bring that leg back, meeting ourselves into that downward dog. From here, we're going to go ahead, once again, if you can, pike yourself down and then press yourself back into that downward dog. Try to get those heels to touch the floor. Breathing on into it the entire time, making sure we're not holding our breath, but we're owning our positions. We're breathing on into them. Oh. And we're trying to exhale the vial that is currently residing in our hips. Oh, I'm great. It's just tight tiger, and turns out squatting leaves marks. And then we're going to go ahead and relax on down to the bottom of that squat. Hopefully it's starting to look a little bit better for you guys. Opening up those hips a bit more, breathing on into it. And then when we're ready, let's go ahead and stand it on up. Since obviously my wife is now not even on the frame whatsoever. She's hiding. She's hiding. That's okay, it's okay. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do this round from the profile. So we're gonna go again. starting off on that right side. So I'm gonna go ahead and let myself reach the ground until I make it on the way down there. Then I'm going to go ahead and let that rear leg go back to the ground. Now this time, we're gonna go ahead and reach back behind us as far as we can through, and then we're gonna go ahead and open up to the ceiling and then come back down, meeting ourselves again in that downward dog, breathing on into it, relaxing into wherever it meets us. My God, I am a tight tiger when I see myself on the video. You know, look at that lack of extension. And then we're gonna go ahead and press ourselves back, breathing on into it once again, thinking about owning our positions, pressing through those heels, trying to let ourselves reach into the ground, and then we're gonna lunge up with the other side, reaching on through to our body as far as we can, and then opening up to the ceiling once again. And then we're going to go ahead and bring ourselves back down to the center. And then when we're ready, let's go ahead, bring ourselves back into the bottom of that squat. We're gonna try to keep out those knees out. Good job getting the heels on the ground, hun. Breathing into it, sitting into it, owning our position. And then when we're ready, let's go ahead, yep, and stand it on up. Nice and easy, and deep breath again. In, out, and relax. And let's go ahead and go through that cycle one last time. And we're going to be leading again with first going with that right leg back since we just led with the left. So reaching onto the floor, relaxing into it wherever it meets us at. From there, let's go ahead and lunge back nice and strong. Breathing on into it, reaching through our body, and then opening on through to the best of our ability. Bring ourselves down, allowing ourselves to go back into that cobra pose. And then from there, let's go ahead, relax ourselves down, press ourselves on back into that downward dog, breathing on into it. Try to let those heels touch the ground, trying to get into those hips and opening up that upper back. And then let's go ahead and get to that lunge on the other side, breathing on into it, reaching on as far through as we can, opening up yet again. What's so nerves? And then we're gonna go ahead and relax on down. Hey buddy, hey buddy. Yeah. You're just my yoga buddy, aren't you? Yes, you are. Trying to help Dad stay on his heels for those squats. Yes, yeah. Look at you. You're gonna show us a downward dog later? You're gonna show us how it's done? You're gonna show us how it's done? And then we're gonna go ahead, and then whenever we're ready, let's go ahead and stand it on up. Do not headbutt me, Norbert. Your enthusiasm. We're gonna do standing poses for a little bit since you are super excited to be in here. Yes, the Norbinator has now made his presence be known. So, Norbs, whenever you're ready, we're gonna go ahead and start ourselves off with a modified tree pose. So we're gonna go ahead and meet ourselves on that single leg. And then whenever we're ready, folks, we're going to have to figure out how to make this work since Norbs is right here. So we're just gonna go ahead and grab and then open ourselves up through the ceiling, breathing nice and strong since currently eagle pose is going to be quite difficult. But now that Norbert is going to go bother Lauren, we're going to go ahead and gently bring our leg over, arching into it as far as we can, and then sitting down into it to the best of our ability. And remember, folks, we're trying to link through with our hands. I don't have the mobility to get my arms across my body, but if you can link, great job, honey. That's what we're looking for. I'm just not there. Breathing on into it, feeling that stretch in the hips, squatting down as low as your body's going to allow you. And then let's go ahead, stand it on up, and we're gonna work on trying to hinge through. And I'm just being mindful of the Norbinator, pressing on through nice and easily, nice and evenly, holding our position nice and flat to the ground, and then let us come and lower ourselves back on up, nice and high. You can meet yourself in that tree yet again, holding our posture, breathing into it, owning our positions. We're in no hurry, we're just holding our positions. And then when we're ready, guys, let's go ahead, let's step on out, let ourselves come down to the other side, and now let's go ahead and go through that cycle leading from the other leg. So we're gonna start off nice and tall, breathing into it, owning our arms nice and tall over our body, breathing. And when we're ready, let's go ahead. And actually, sorry, we'll grab that toe, opposite hand, opening up that chest nice and high, breathing in, owning our posture. It's okay, honey. It's hard to balance in these positions. We're trying to own our position and having that conversation with our body and the floor. You can see my toes are grabbing the ground. I'm actively holding my posture, actively holding my positions. And then we're going to go ahead and reach on through, sit on down, owning our positions, breathing on into it. That's a good boy, Norbert. Keep staying where you're at. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and reach behind us. Being careful we don't kick the wall behind us because we didn't pick a good spot to stand. And then trying to own our balance. It's okay, honey. It's difficult. You're trying to lever at the hip, holding yourself in a tall posture. And then we're going to bring ourselves back up, owning ourselves to that tree. Good job, Norbert. Don't worry, we're going to go to the floor poses at some point. So let's go ahead and now let's switch over again. We're going to go through that cycle, leading with that right foot to start. So let's go ahead, have ourselves in that tree pose wherever it feels comfortable. If you are comfortable, remember folks, you can go ahead and pull that leg up higher in your body depending on your flexibility. And then from there, let's go ahead, grab that toe, get ourselves up nice and tall, breathing on into it, owning our positions. From there, let's go ahead, allow that leg to come free and meet ourselves into that squat, wherever it meets us at, trying to relax into it, feeling that stretch in the hip. We can go ahead, take our leg, bring it on higher onto the thigh. If we want to get a little bit deeper into that hip, breathing on into it, and then when we're ready, yes, honey, use the Dr. Girlfriend voice. Pressing on through, owning our position, making sure that we're gripping the ground actively, and breathing. And then we're going to go ahead and bring ourselves back up into the tree. It's okay, it's okay. It's normal to have to step out. Find a point on the wall, find a point on the floor, keep your eyes trained there, hold your balance, hold your positions. So let's go ahead, step on out, and we're going to go back to that first pose, hitting that tree, wherever we feel comfortable, trying to keep that hip open, owning our positions, breathing on into it. Remember guys, we're in that lengthened position, we're challenging our balance more so, making it more difficult to hold our position, making it more difficult to balance. Then let's go ahead, take and cross. I'm skipping steps here, guys, because I have an angry right knee, thanks to the squatting yesterday. And then breathing into it, good. Try to think that arm nice and high to the ceiling. There you go. Lengthen those lever arms, challenge your balance, challenge your body's ability to hold those positions. Just like when we bring ourselves into that stretch, challenge our positions, challenge our balance, sit into it to the best of your ability. Now when you're ready, let's go ahead, press on through, owning that posture, owning those positions. And let's come on down, hold our position, and then pet the dog half-assedly while we're standing on one leg. Because Norbert just loves affection, he doesn't care how it comes. Okay, folks, so step on out, breathe for a moment. Now we're going to attempt to work on our kneeling positions, but we're going to see what the Norbinator allows for us to do, since that is a very big question. So if you guys at home don't have a yoga mat, notice the wife and I are just using a rug that we have in the house. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go and grab 2 pillows from our couch, and that's what we're going to use to support our knee on for the next part that we're going to go ahead and do. So be right back. You're not missing much. So we have our couch cushions that probably also smell like Norbert because we allow him to be on the couch. I'm just going to go ahead and set the cushion on the ground. Folks, we're going to be in that nice, good lunge position. And then from there, folks, I want you to think about keeping those hips underneath us, and then think about lunging ourselves forward nice and slowly until we relax onto the ground. Yes, that's why we're doing kneeling positions, yes. And I'm thinking about pushing my hips forward, keeping that tall posture. We can put the hands on our knees, or we can reach back behind us if we want to. Think about opening up in this position. Okay, just breathing into it, nice and easily, putting in some quality time here. Yes, Norbert. Drink too much water too fast, is that what that was? Is that what it is? So from there, folks, let's go ahead, grab that toe, and relax back into it to the best of our ability. Yes, mommy and daddy love you. Yes, we do. You're making it very hard to hold my position. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and bring both of those feet underneath us. So we have our knees hopefully on the pad. We're going to go ahead, relax on down wherever it meets us at, feeling that stretch in our thighs if at all possible. There's a wall behind me, so I'm not going to be very aggressive sitting back into this. But the idea, folks, now is to relax yourself as far back as what your body's going to allow you. I feel good here. This is a good place for me. I'm going to hang out, just breathing into it, owning my positions as the Norbert has now gone for mommy for affection. So then, folks, we're going to go ahead, bring ourselves back on up into that even position, just relaxing into it. Then we're going to go ahead and move ourselves forward. Yes, Norbert. Yes, right leg red. And we're going to go ahead and stretch into this while we pet the puppy. Because if he does not have love, he needs to get it somewhere. Yes, Norbert. Yes, buddy. Oh, yeah, you're such a good puppy. Now I'm going to bring myself on up, push my hips forward into the Norbert, because he is now my prop to help me stretch into. Yes, that's a good puppy. That's a good puppy. Yeah, got some tangles in here in that ear hair. You and me are competing to see who can have more ear hair. I think you're in the lead, but not by much. It's not wrong. I didn't choose this fate. It came upon me. So now, folks, when we're ready, we're going to go ahead again and go and grab that toe, stretching into that hamstring, breathing on into it wherever it meets us at. Yes, good puppy. Good puppy. Yes, yes. And then we're going to go ahead and bring that knee underneath us again, and we're going to relax on down onto our haunches, breathing on into it. You can go ahead and have your knees a little bit wider this time if you'd like. You can have your feet outside of your hips if you'd like. I'm keeping mine directly underneath me because my pillow is relatively narrow, and Norbert's here and needs love and affection. So from there, we're going to go ahead and relax on back. Yes. I will not kiss you. Yes. He's going to mommy now for affection. Breathing on into it, owning our positions. And then when we're ready, folks, let's go ahead, bring ourselves back on up, relaxing into it, breathing into our thighs, letting it go ahead and release some. And now let's go ahead and switch to take and lunge for our other leg. Good. Sit back into it, breathe into it, honey, breathe into it. Good. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves to come back on up and then push that hip bone forward into the Norbert. Once again, trying to relax that hip flexor, getting it to breathe into us. Now notice I can bias my foot behind me a little bit into different angles and feel what I feel, and trying to go ahead and get that hip to open. Now, the last variation we're going to do from this, and you guys can feel free to repeat every segment more than once, so just pause the video, go back. We're just doing a little more limited number of repetitions because Norbs is here and I don't like talking to myself. So we're going to go ahead and get that foot on the 45, and now we're going to lean off to the side. We're getting a lot more into the groin from this angle. Yeah, keep that hip, keep that knee out, push that hip to the side. Feel anything in there, hip, honey? Mm-hmm. There you go. Breathing into it, owning our positions, not being in any hurry, guys. Not being in any hurry. We're going to see how these pigeon poses go in a little bit, since the Norbinator needs affection. He needs love. Well, hello. How are you doing, pupper? You doing good? He's just happy that we're lowered him on the ground. And, oh yes, that's the anger hip. The anger hip. All right, Norbs. Daddy's gonna do a couple of pigeon poses. Can I get you to get up for me? Can I get you to get up for me? Okay, then we're gonna see how this goes, guys. We're gonna see how this goes. So I'm gonna be up in my downward dog, reaching that single leg to the ceiling, breathing on into it. Just got dog hair in my mouth. It's definitely my mouth. And I'm going to be in a modified pigeon with the Norbinator as an extra weight, helping me get into it. Yes, yes, Norbert. This is what will be getting all of the likes from the students. Yes, breathing into it, meeting ourselves in that pigeon, hunting around in those corners to the best of our ability, since the Norbinator's here. Yes, and then from there, I'm gonna go ahead and we'll see how this goes. Going back up into that downward dog on the single leg. I love you too, buddy. Yes, yes, do not hit me in the face. I'm trying to be in a pigeon right now, guys. It's just not working out the best.
Do you need me to?
No, we're good, we're good. We're good. He's a lovable puppy. Get on top of your foot. There we go. Okay, now we're in a really crummy version of the pigeon pose, but at least you can understand what we're trying to get at is I'm trying to bias towards that hip. Again, I have to loosen up since it's tight. Yes, Norbert, it's tight from the lifting Daddy did yesterday. That's all he's going to do with that position because you are on him like white on rice. But you're a good puppy. Yes, you are. So then from there, feel free to go ahead and do the pigeon a good 2-3 more times along with the single leg downward dog. I don't feel like getting another mouthful of dog hair, and I can still taste in the back of my mouth, which, you know, the joys of pet ownership. So I'm going to go ahead and then just transition to my hips, and then we're just going to go ahead and finish up relaxing into that butterfly, wherever it meets us at. Yes, Norbert, go here, mommy. Mommy loves you. Breathing into it, trying to relax those hips, trying to hold our posture, feeling free to forward fold. I am too much of a tight tiger to go ahead and get in that position, Norbert, and that's okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and just keep relaxing on forward into it. From there, I'm going to go and allow myself to have one leg out in front of me. Yes, Norbs. Yes, buddy. There you go. Good puppy. Good puppy. Dad's going to go ahead and try to lean forward awkwardly as he tries to pet his dog with the other. Feel free to not have a dog inside of your frame when you're doing this. This should make it a lot easier for you. We're going to go ahead and then not switch our legs because Norbert is comfortable. And we're going to go ahead and just do a nice, easy forward fold. Breathing into it, guys. Don't be in any hurry. Just holding your position, letting yourself relax as far as it will allow you to relax. As much as Norbert is going to allow me to relax. But Norbert's a good puppy. That he is. In theory, I would pull this leg in and do the opposite side with the leg in, reaching forward and stretching. Obviously, somebody's in the way, and that's okay. That's okay. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and meet ourselves in a bit of a figure four. Yes, yes, that is Daddy's form. Thank you for licking it, Norbert. I'm sure it tastes like something. Okay, buddy. I love you too. I love you too. Okay, so we're going to go and slowly relax on through and trying to get that hip to relax as we now have a nice fan blowing us with Norbert's. So I'm trying to get into my shoulders a little bit by letting myself go forward and getting into my hip. Nice. You look comfortable there. I'm not.
I am comfortable, actually.
That's good. Love you too, Norbs. I'm going to go ahead. I know, I'm not petting you. Go to mommy. Good puppy. Yes, the fan is back and the fan is gone. Good. Breathing into it, relaxing into it. Yes, and there's the Norbert butt. And so the last thing we're going to go ahead and do, folks, is allow yourself to just breathe. And we're going to go ahead and spend the time in the bottom of the squat. Now you guys can go ahead and do the wall squat like we've demonstrated before in class, where you're going to go ahead and prop your feet up against the wall with your hips close to it, allowing yourself to relax, or you're going to be just doing a standing variation. And since Norbert is here on so many levels, because that's the nice thing about Norbert, he is fully present. He is fully here in the moment. Some of us can, be busy thinking about everything else. Where's Norbert at? He's in the right here and the right now. And he is very happy to be here. Plus, if I did this to anybody, they'd be like, how about you quit slapping me because this feels bad? Meanwhile, he's just a happy puppy. So now, Norbert, I want you to stay like that. I want you to stay like that. His daddy's going to sit in the bottom of that squat, and he's just going to hang out and pet you. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Just spending some quality time, trying to get that hips to open up on both sides, just relaxing into it, breathing into it, owning our position, owning our posture. We're going to try to spend a minute or two here. Really occupying the space, really letting ourselves relax into it. Isn't that right, Norbert? Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Good puppy. Good puppy. So if you guys ever need dog fur, we vacuum up approximately 4 to 5 pounds of it every week. We're more than happy to send this via email. No, by mail. If any of you guys is interested, go ahead and let yourself relax in that stretch, into that squat. Try to feel around those corners, feel where those hips are tight. Let those legs go forward a bit, trying to get into those knees. Let those hips internally rotate. And then remember, we can put the hand on the ground and open up on through, hand on the ground, and open up on through, trying to really open up that thoracic spine while we're there also. And then when we're ready, folks, let's go ahead, stand it on up. Yes, Norbert. Deep breath in, deep breath out, relax, and go ahead and have yourselves a great day, guys. Feel free to start over and or repeat any of these segments. And I hope you guys are doing okay out there. Miss seeing you guys in class. And I know Norbert was hoping to get to meet you guys in person at some point, but maybe he can in the future. Be safe out there, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.